Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. You know I don't like long introductions, so we're gonna go ahead and just get into the reading. Every single time. Alright, we're gonna light the candles again. Just for my own safety, go ahead and blow it on out again. That's fine with me. So we have someone who has some passion behind them. Very powerful energy. Someone who commands a room. But also someone who... There's this human being who commands a room, but is also moving in a very reckless way. It's not actually reckless though. It's just they're moving in a very fast-paced way when it comes to giving up this hoarding type mentality, and it is allowing someone a victory. They're moving in a very fast-paced way. Okay. They linking up with people who have the same emotional core values. Okay. Hit it. Okay, anyway. And when I say that there's someone who is no longer like hoarding, like someone is realizing that hoarding energy, hoarding stability, hoarding, even it could even be coin, or that hoarding in general is not productive or healthy for the collective. This thought process that these human beings are picking up on is going to end in a victory, because these human beings are going to want more, not just for themselves. They're not hoarding for themselves, they're actually giving to the collective. Someone is linking up with people who got similar core values, and we love that. We love that. Actually, groups of people who want the best for you, who want to move forward with you. Okay. This might be somebody that you know. I'm telling you. You know somebody who got a passion under their butt, and they talk about collectiveness, and they talk about stability for all. You're gonna have a victory with that person. That's the person that you need to be on a board with, because they are going to be sharing cups of love, cups of emotional stability with others. And do not miss your shot to be on that boat with this person. There's somebody who seems like they're afraid. It's almost like mentally you feel like this human being feels like they're stagnant. This human being feels like they're stagnant. And it's almost like this human being wants to go towards this energy, but this human being might be too much in their head. They might be too much in their mental. This human being might be worried about others, what others think. Ooh, okay. This human being seems like it seems like that some human beings out here doesn't want to be invested in this because they find it boring. They find it just not, they think that it's not going to be fulfilling. But look, you already got 3 cups, and you think another cup ain't gonna help you out? You think that's not gonna push you forward? And see this phone over here? There are some human beings out here who are being influenced in a certain way to act very emotionally immature about this type of energy, especially when it comes to not hoarding, not trying to be like those who only want things for themselves. And some of this energy comes from trauma. So some human beings out here are moving in this way and don't want to accept these cups and don't want to move forward in this energy with others because they are traumatized. That is not an excuse. This is just an explanation. And if the human beings who are watching this, if you are on that type of energy, I suggest you reevaluate, because shit is hitting the fan. It is hitting the fan on planet Earth. And it has always hit the fan in certain areas. It's just I'm speaking personally to those of Western cultures and people who are in the United States. Shit is hitting the fan. It is hitting the fan, and you are going to find victory with those who are prioritizing community, those who are prioritizing empathy. If you have no empathy, best believe when the time comes, when you are in need, you may not be surrounded by those who have empathy. You might be surrounded by those who wanna live in a bunker, away from everybody, who would be okay with you starving. So the win is in this passion, this quick and fiery energy towards letting go of these values, letting go of this trauma. Because this collective, these humans, you're going to reap some type of benefit, some type of victory in this collective energy. It is coming for you. But these humans are going to have to learn to rethink what they feel is success. If your success isn't measured by the collective, if your success isn't anchored in community, there is no victory in that. The victory is letting go of this hoarding mentality. And you can even see it here. This collective energy that some of these human beings are trying to push away, it is going to bring joy. It is going to bring satisfaction. It's going to actually heal these inner child wounds. Not only are you going to be giving to yourself, you are going to be giving to others in need, and vice versa. You're not going to always be the person being able to give the cup. Sometimes you're going to be the child in need of the cup, of someone to emotionally say, hey, I love you, I care for you, your life matters. You are not valued because of your productivity in this world. You are valued because you are here and because we love you. And this might be boring to some people, but best believe the chaos that's going on right now, if you're not with the collective, you're gonna have a hard time. Human beings are going to need to learn how to be emotionally stable. Why do you feel those ways in the first place? Why do you feel that there's no joy or emotional fulfillment in those cups with other people? And you're going to have to look at your past. You're going to have to reanalyze your past and see where that came from. Because there is an immense amount of joy and there's an immense amount of emotional stability in this path of letting go of hoarding, letting go of trying to think solely of the individual. I think a lot of human beings think what's going to happen is that everybody's going to be at the end, they're going to be rugged and you're going to have to be fighting off humans for resources, and ask yourself, who taught you that? Who taught you that? Why is it that once things fall apart, why wouldn't it be that great communities come out of it? That your life and your worth and your value will no longer be on simply what you can produce or what the labor that you give to those who will only give you half a penny. Why do you think that? Why do you think if the system that we're under right now falls apart, that people won't be empathetic and loving enough to go towards collective and community help and support? Why do you think that? Who are you idealizing? Who are the people who are preaching that type of propaganda to you? Who's preaching that to you? And what benefit? Who benefits from that thought process? Could it be the people who are going to be in the bunkers, who are hoping that once they leave their bunkers, there will be no other people because too many people be fighting each other? Could it be those people who are trying to feed you that propaganda because they're already preparing for crazy things to happen on planet Earth? And they're going to hide away and hope that the rest of society destroys itself? There are a lot of secrets, a lot of things that that these humans can't see. But the thing about it is that you just cannot simply see, or that you're too afraid of the dark. You're too afraid of those emotions to look and see that there is actually danger, but there's also a path, that you don't have to reinvent the wheel because other people have that knowledge. It feels like a secret. It seems like a secret, but look at the moon. Look at how the moon shines and illuminates things. There are things that the collective and human beings do not know. There are things out there that human beings don't know, but there are people who actually do know. People who are standing in their passion, who are standing in their love for others, and who are moving forward and saying, I will no longer hold on to this idea that when things crumble, all I'll get is nothing, that I'll have to hoard, that I'll have to do this, when the truth is you are going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with your neighbor, the people beside you, the people in your neighborhood. That's what's going to happen. And it is better to build those bonds now. It is better to find out who is going to be a benefit and who is going to be a danger to the society that you're going to have to build. But there is emotional stability. I don't know who this other human being is, this Queen of Wand energy. I don't know who that is. But they got the right spirit. They got the right spirit. They got a victory. There are some people who are using their intellect in a very dangerous, impulsive way. Some people don't have the enthusiasm. Some people are very cruel. That's what I'm getting. Cruel in their mentality. It's almost like some people have no discernment on what could actually be in this world. There are people right now who are making very little money helping people in this world. And they choose to do it because they love people. Those people are still here. There's someone who has this doggy, what is it? Doggy eat dog. I can't remember what the phrasing is. It's like eat or be eaten. Eat or be eaten type of energy. Although there are people out there who would never eat others. And someone is just recklessly thinking. It's almost like they are clouded in their judgment. They're making these decisions off of movies. not real life people. They're not actually going into their communities and seeing who are the helpers, who the people who want to benefit, who want everyone to benefit, who want the humankind to progress. They're going off of shit that they've been fed off of TV. Things that I mean, in some capacity it is real, but a lot of it is just propaganda. A lot of it is propaganda. Because human beings can choose. They have a choice. You have a choice to be cruel. You have a choice to hoard. You have a choice to believe some people don't deserve while others do. You have a choice. That is a choice. You choose that. You choose that every day. There is emotional happiness down this path, but someone's going to have to get off this reckless train when it comes to their mentality and get on board with their feelings. I know everyone hates to talk about their feelings. I know people want to be logical because it's seen as more authoritative, as more idealized, because people have demonized having feelings. But this is where your emotional stability is going to be. This is where your happiness is going to be. How do you think you're going to get emotional fulfillment if you're not focusing on your emotions? If you're not actually empathizing and caring with others? Where do you think emotional fulfillment is going to come from? You know why a lot of people are out here still miserable and they're millionaires and billionaires? Because they are not emotionally fulfilled. They work off of this reckless type of energy, eat or be eaten. They work off this reckless type of energy of hoarding. They work off this reckless type of energy of superiority, where they feel that only a certain group should have things. Only a certain group, because the certain group is smarter and wiser and more dominant. But this is where we need to be. This is where you need to be. You see these people standing next to each other, different, loving each other. That is where we need to be. That is where you need to put your loyalty. You can lose your soul. Everybody's so worried about their soul. And a lot of human beings allow people who have no good intention to use certain tools to scare them into doing things that they know is just not right, because they're not thinking with their heart. They're thinking with fear. They're thinking with fear. And they're being impulsive. Think with your heart. That is going to help human and mankind move forward. Someone needs to actually start building a community. Working and not, I'm getting some of y'all not building it. It's actually working on connecting with people. It's already there. It's already built. You just have to actually start working on it. You have to get involved. You have to realize that your stability is in that. Get on board. Get with the program, baby. People are waiting for you to get involved. They're waiting for you to care. They're waiting for you to show up. The progress of humanity depends on it. I know a lot of people think that they have no say, or that they're not important. Like, I'm just one person, I can't do anything. You are one person, but you can do something. You can do something. And this type of mentality is going to change it for you. It is going to change. You're going to get more luck. It's going to change not even just for you, but for others. Human beings are going to change each other's lives. In a good way, especially if they work together for the collective happiness. Collective also means the most vulnerable, the children, the disabled, those who are being attacked in the streets. This person who has all this passion, got another card too, sorry. This person who has all this passion is a very patient person. They may be a Sagittarius, have Sagittarius energy. This person may be the teaching kind, very philosophical. And some people are running away in shame. Some people don't even want to accept it because they feel shame. Some people don't want to look at it because they feel shame, they feel guilty, they feel bad. Okay, if you did something bad, if you had a thought that you needed to take a break on and rest on and think about, and you change your mind, that makes you a better person. That means you're evolving. That means you're changing into a better person. It is okay to be wrong. It is okay to be wrong. You're never going to be 100% right in this world. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit when you are wrong. And once you actually admit that and forgive yourself and move on, and this is not I need to stay in my head and cry about it, I'm such a bad person. Stop it. That doesn't help anybody. Staying in this weird energy of self-pity and sadness because you've done something wrong doesn't help anyone. It just makes you the center focus again. It's about moving forward. What will you do now? At the end of your life, what will people say who you were, how you moved in this world? That is what it's about. Some of you do need to sit on the things that you have been taught, the things that you've learned over the years, because you're going to be faced with people who have passion, who have patience, who love people, and you're gonna and these human beings are going to realize, maybe I was wrong. Some of you, or some of these humans, are actually going to become the vulnerable. And when I say that, some of these humans are going to become disabled. They're going to lose things, and you're going to have to turn to your community. These humans are going to have to turn to their community. The community that they tried to pull themselves away from, try to separate themselves from. These same people who have no real passion, that these human beings are losing passion because it's not about the collective anymore. It's not about, where human beings can go in the world, as in like how we can evolve anymore. It's all about superiority. It's all about these crappy ass passions that only are only self-fulfilling, and at the end of the day, it's still not enough. It is not emotionally fulfilling anymore. It's just a quick way to get a good energy ball, a good energy jolt. Like, oh, I'm better. Oh, I won this. But it's not emotionally fulfilling. And that's why you find a lot of people who are at the top, they're miserable people. Miserable people. And they do miserable things to other people. Not to say they're miserable in the way where they're poor. No. People who are poor are also very fucking miserable. But if you notice, people who are poor are also not trying to make it worse for everybody else in the world. I'm going to come to this in a minute. Let's end up with the 6 of Wands. Again, it's these people who are intellectually violent. They're violent intellectual people. They get other people to do their dirty work. They almost like they get henchmen to do their dirty work, but they are planners. They are planners, and they are, I don't want to say mischievous, because it's deeper than that. It's not just mischievous. It's not just, they're doing it for like, ooh, I just want to get a little laugh or giggle. Like, these people are truly evil. They want to mentally dominate others. And if you're a human being and you're listening to this and you have followed someone who is like this, it is okay to change your mind. It is okay to pack it on up and pivot somewhere else. Nobody should be hanged for that. Nobody should be punished for eternity for something like that. You are a human being, and I have said this before on my channel, and I say it again. It is easier to manipulate someone than it is to convince them that they have been manipulated. It is easier. No one, very few people in this world, and I can still say no one, is the exception to the manipulation tools. This is a long-held practice. It is a long-held practice. And if you're someone who doesn't have food, it is rare that you can't be manipulated. Very rare. You watch your kids starve long enough, you can be manipulated into thinking that it's a dog eats dog, or I can't remember what the saying is, but it's more so like every man for himself type energy. You know what I mean? But there is truth in this victory. There is a victory, but it will come to those who are willing to wield the truth. Human beings have to be willing to sit with the uncomfortable truth of how the world is currently going. Human beings are going to have to wield the truth. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with those around you about what's happening. Long gone are the days of a just world theory. Please look up just world theory if you have time. Please. Be real. Be honest about what's happening. And move forward in a way that is not just for the self. A lot of human beings are going to have to be honest about their unhappiness, about the stagnation in their life, about the corruption in the world, and being honest about the part that you play in it. Being honest about the inaction. Being honest about the cowardice. Because the Sun card is about a Leo. And you know what the Leo card reversed is? It's cowardice. We don't got it yet, but it might come out. There are so many humans out there who are watching this who are unhappy with the corruption, with just allowing these people to take over and do whatever they want. There are swords there for a reason. There are still two swords there. These corrupt people haven't taken away all your means to fight. You still have a fair chance. You still are able to fight. You still are. There are still ways. But this also requires human beings to realize when they are putting into a system that will never give back to them. Aren't you tired? Don't you want a better world, not just for a small percent of people, but also for yourself, for your children and your children's children, for your cousins, for your sisters, for your brothers, for the children that you see on the playground, the ones walking to schools? Don't you want a better world for everybody? Don't you want a better world for everybody? Aren't you tired of working so hard and getting nothing back, getting nothing in return? Not even a penny. Not even a penny. You're putting in so much work into a system that has abandoned you. They have abandoned you. They have left you for dead. They have left you for dead, and you're still pouring into that company. You are still pouring into the 1%. You still admire them. You're giving your all for them to give you nothing. You're pouring your all into these politicians, asking people, do this, do that, only for them to still not show up when it's necessary, still not do the right thing. You are putting into a system that you are not going to receive a reward from. Aren't you tired? You thought that was going to bring you happiness. You thought that rejecting this thing that you thought was idealistic, or these human beings thought that rejecting this idea that someone thought was unrealistic was going to benefit you or benefit this human. And you're starting to realize that there was no happiness in rejecting the offer that was given to you, and you still can take it. It's still on the table. But a lot of y'all are going to have to stop fighting just to fight. There is a lot of human beings who are stuck in their ego, and a lot of human beings who feel like winning is going to bring them satisfaction, that being on a specific team is going to bring them satisfaction, but you are just going to isolate yourself from the people who genuinely want better for you, who had their swords up not to fight you, but to fight those who wanted to harm you. And you thought that the people who actually wanted to harm you were going to help you, that they were going to be your friends. But these are the people who decided that they're just going to put down their swords and stop fighting with you because it wasn't worth it for them anymore. There's human beings who are so much in their ego that they would rather cut off their nose and cut off their arms and cut off their own support just so others won't have, just so that they can feel better than others, just so that they can win. Look at this person, the smirk on their face, just so that they can win. It is not worth it. And when this person turns around and the people they thought were going to protect them and have their backs run them over, then what? When they kidnap you, when they take you away and they lock you up, then what? Some people have kind of disconnected from their higher selves. They've disconnected from this structure, this, I want to say, religious type energy. Someone has disconnected from it. Or this someone might be a Taurus. This person also might be a Taurus. But there is some type of like religious or doctrine that someone had at one point, and it had a lot of empathy in it for this person. And it's almost like, instead of trusting how you felt the first time about having empathy, someone got into their ego and they started trusting these people, these intellectual people. And not to say that intellect is bad, it's not. It's these people at the top are using this type of energy to control others. They make you think that loving and caring for others is not worth it. Someone needs to dive back into this energy where they say, love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. And again, I'm telling you, it is okay to admit that you're wrong about something. It is okay to admit that you're wrong. Being wrong is not it should not be up for damnation. Being wrong, you shouldn't be damned for that. That is a natural state of human nature, is just being wrong. And the truth is about giving and taking. We're so disconnected from actually being there for others and being stable within each other. You're not going to always be the person with something to give to others. Sometimes you're going to have to be the person that's receiving. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Give to thy neighbor. Support thy neighbor as well. These are morals and standards that at one point some of these human beings had. But they started listening to people who were morally bankrupt and manipulative. And then they feel like it's unrealistic to be able to help others in world hunger. They think it's unrealistic to be able to do that, because they're listening to these people who actually don't want to share, who actually don't want equality or equity for others. They don't want that. They want to be kings. They want to be kings. They want to rule. And the best way they can do that is to convince you to go against your own interests. There is a message. There's a message from younger generations that want better, or from this it's not immature in a bad way. It's just immature as in it is a small bit of stability, a small message. But it's there and it's for you, and it's about getting connected back with this energy, getting connected back, and the universe wants to give it to you. The universe wants to give it to you. The message is about love. It's about caring. It's about going back into this energy, because it is enough. There is enough for all of us. We can have emotional fulfillment. You just have to stop listening to these people who want to rule like kings. People who want to rule like kings don't care for others. They just want to be exempt from the consequences after they do bad things and hurt people. A lot of these humans who are watching this, you have a decision. You have a decision to make. And if you move towards abundance, if you move towards happiness, if you move towards emotionally feeling, let your body feel, you can come out of this energy. You can forgive yourself. But you have to make the decision. You have to stop pretending like you can't see what's happening. You have to stop pretending like you don't know what to do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's tons of books on what to do in these situations. And there are tons of people who are yelling at you about this situation. Make the right decision for you and the future people, for the children in this world. All right, universe, what else you want to say? Ooh, this one was jumped out. What else you want to say? What else you want to say? Closing out this message. Let me know what else you got to say. All right. So this is going to require a lot of introspection. There are some human beings who honestly do need to sit with their thoughts. They're going to have to take a break from social media. You're look at this. Closing down that laptop. Put it down. You're gonna have to sit with your thoughts. You're gonna have to realize the unhealthy habits and traditions that you have currently been following. You have to realize how long you have stayed in this situation, not looking for the extra cup. How long have you kept yourself stagnant? In the name of what? And how it has made you emotionally unstable because of it. There's a group of humans that are evolving. They're growing emotionally. But you have to reconcile what's happened. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I hope you have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. And I will see you in the next one.